This is Gary Atencio with CNTV, and today we're in Westminster, Colorado. I am here at A+ Real Estate School. Since 1994, they have provided a premier selection of Colorado real estate courses, from pre-licensing to continuing education. I'm here with Debbie, who is the owner. Thanks so much for joining us here today. Let's start off a little bit about yourself. We're talking about a seasoned realtor, educator, top award-winning, top sales, referral sales. Those are quite a few things. Share with me how the passion of real estate got started for you.
I started in 1992 and fell in love with the business. I got into it when the business was a little slow with HUD homes, and then it got really busy, and then it slowed down again in the 2000s. And my husband started the school in 94, Tony Porteraro. He actually did the school, and I did real estate. And I loved real estate, he loved the school, and I didn't have really too much to do with the school. And unfortunately, he passed away in 2008, and I decided to take over the school. And the rest is history. Here I am today.
That is a great story. I mean, when Tony landed here in Denver in the first part of the 80s, actually, the Denver real estate probably didn't even look like it does today. I mean, what a big difference. Has the real estate boom actually affected professionals, almost make it more demanding?
For the school, I have found that it doesn't really matter what the market is doing. People are still coming to real estate school. We are busier, of course, when people think the market is booming. But I have found that as far as the market that's out there, our business keeps going.
Wonderful. I mean, obviously, with an active market like that, in both buying and selling, why is the real estate transaction really need a professional to overlook it?
We deal with contracts. We're dealing with people's money. And we're dealing with contracts, their legal documents, and so for someone to try to do it on their own is a terrible mistake, and they can end up losing so much. So really, we have to know an awful lot about law.
Absolutely. I mean, as a consumer, we're out there buying and selling. Craigslist, we're buying automobiles, selling them. I think we forget how complicated and legal the actual transaction of buying real estate is. I mean, it's really an occupation that you have to cross your T's and dot your I's, and that has to be learned.
It's funny because when I got in the business, the contracts were 6 pages, and everybody laughed about the people that I knew started with 1 page. We now have about 17 pages per contract. So you can see that it's become much more complex and a lot more detailed, and we cover a lot more things.
Do all the states require agents to be licensed? And do you notice Colorado to be any different than the other states when it comes to licensing?
Yes, Colorado is probably my favorite state because we are first in the industry to making changes. We do have probably the toughest courses, and we probably do have the toughest contracts, but we're the leader. We led when it was dual agency. We led when we got rid of dual agency and got the buyer agency, and then we went to transaction broker. So we have led the industry throughout, which is very interesting. And so if you move to another state, probably the tests are going to be easier in other states. But Colorado is the leader, so that to me is very exciting.
That is exciting. I mean, agents, brokers, they need to be licensed. Does the school itself have to be licensed? Are these courses basically state approved?
The school does have to be licensed. We are licensed through the Department of Higher Education and the Division of Private Occupational Schools. So yes, we have to get reapproved every 3 years, and we also have to have all the continuing education approved through the Division of Real Estate down at the Commission. So I'm approved by 2, the state and for the pre-licensing, and also through the Commission for the continuing education.
Interesting. Before we discuss some of the specifics of the courses, let's talk about how these courses are actually taken. I mean, that has to have even changed since Tony opened back in the 90s quite a bit. We're talking about online technology, live classrooms. Tell me a little bit about how these are done.
That has probably been the most challenging because I am old school. I was from reading books, and we taught in the classroom. And when I took over the school in 2008, we had to get it online, get all the classes online. So I had to write the material to be online. I had to do questions that could be answered online. And it was a whole new process for me. It was exciting, but it was a lot of work. Now it's gone from not only having my material online, but now we're trying to do videos to get online, and we have PowerPoints online. So it seems like every year I have to upgrade and do more to keep up with the technology.
I imagine that is true. I mean, but yet it has to be a real convenience for people out there. We're talking about learning some advanced real estate courses in the comfort of your own home. Is it also probably cost effective for them as well?
Well, it can be and it can't be. And the reason I say that is all people have a different way of learning. Some people are very visual. Some people need a lot of explanation. So if you've got somebody doing it online and it's not going well for them and now they have to come to classes, it may cost them more because they... Sure. It might be, that somebody thinks they can do it online and just doesn't happen for them. And then you've got people in the class that go, oh, I can do this online. I don't need the class. So it can get a little more expensive if people want to switch around.
But yet it's nice that you're able to provide both ways for people. I mean, either way, they can find something that fits for them. Let's talk about some of the courses. First of all, those that are preparing for their licensing exam, tell me about the pre-licensing education that you provide.
There's 168 hours, and I have to say, for what we learn and what we teach out there, it's almost like getting a law degree in 168 hours. You have to learn an awful lot about the laws, and for $1,000 or less or around that price is your pre-licensing, and you can't start another profession for that amount of money. And as far as inventory, your inventory is of all the houses that are listed out there, so you don't even have to buy any inventory. So really, real estate is probably the most fascinating way to make a career, get yourself going for the least amount of money, and to where you can make as much as you possibly want to put into it.
So we're talking about additional materials that's not needed. Everything's pretty much included in one deal there.
Yes. Also, the company that a licensee decides to go with is critical. I won't get into that too much, but when people are just getting out of school, it's very important that they get in with a company that really helps them and trains them correctly, because we're teaching you to pass the exams and the industry of real estate, but the real world you're not learning in a classroom. So it's very important to get that from a brokerage firm that is very reputable and has the training for them.
Wonderful. I mean, if there's ever an industry that is ever changing, it's real estate. I mean, new laws, new regulations, contract law. This isn't the type of industry where you get that test, pass it, and you're done. Continuing education, that is pretty much required.
It is, and that's one of the things I love about it, because every day I have to learn something new. I'm constantly having to revise my material and add to it, and changes are made by the commission, and so we have to keep up with that. Legislation makes a lot of changes, and which is for the public, so our job is to make sure that we're up to speed with all the changes. But I love it because every day is a different day and a new change, and I'm always researching, and I enjoy that part of it.
I mean, many of these courses are beyond just passing the exam. We're talking about advanced skills, even like negotiation. Was it always important to provide that type of course?
Negotiation was not taught years ago, and I'm so excited that you brought that up, because my husband wrote a book on negotiation and felt that that was the one thing really missing in real estate, was that we did not have any skills in being taught on negotiation. So he wrote a book, which I'm very proud of, and it's called Negotiation, the Complete Story. We had it published, and unfortunately, he got to see it developed and he got to see it delivered, but he passed away shortly after that. But he finished it, and it was so wonderful to have that now that I can share with the world. But we now teach a negotiation class. Other classes have since developed with it, because I think as we came out, others saw that it was a need. But I am still willing to share the book, and it teaches not only about real estate, but it has so many good things in there as far as real life.
Speaking of real life, I mean, I've sat down with many real estate professionals. One thing I've learned is that real estate is more than just property or land. It's really a people business. I mean, quite honestly, it was pretty much a gift for you to have the book, I imagine. Tony was basically an expert in human behavior. He had a PhD. Basically, for him to be able to write that, kind of exciting to pass that on to everyone.
What made me very happy is I felt so blessed to have had him in my life and as a mentor and for helping me through the business. But I am so proud of what he did. And as I said in the beginning, I was in real estate and he had the school. When he passed away, he had put so much into the school and written most of the material. It was his legacy. And I wanted to keep that going. So I did, and I have enjoyed it so much more than I ever did real estate, and I loved real estate. So every day when I get up, I feel very excited and very blessed, and I feel like he still is helping me along.
Absolutely. Viewers, let's take a look at the bottom of the screen right there. What you're going to see is their website. First of all, on the website, you can take a look at the different courses they provide there for you. You can also see the rates there. Like she basically said, this is an industry that really to get involved in doesn't cost a lot of money. And the continuing education, you're going to learn a lot of advanced skills out there, but also take a look at the testimonials of folks that have gone on to pass that test, have gone on to start a new career. Basically, this is an exciting time here in Denver, Colorado, but real estate is something that began back in the 80s when he first moved here, and schools like this didn't exist to this level. We're talking about online, very easy, very accessible. Let me ask you, from a real estate professional, somebody who has actually been out there in the trenches, you basically know what it's like to get started, you know what it's like to be intimidated by an exam. Is this continue to be very rewarding for you, knowing that you're helping somebody brand new get started?
That's one of the things I love, is that, yes, every day I get to watch somebody grow and become better and bigger than they were, and we love watching the people come in and grow into a new career. And I want to say that not only are we getting them into new careers, but they can make so much money also. And real estate is not about buying and selling houses. It's about marketing. It's how do you market yourself, and how do you get yourself out there for people to believe in you, that you are going to do the best for them. And unfortunately, we don't get to teach that much in the class. We teach more about passing the exams and what you have to learn for the schooling. But really, real estate is about marketing yourself and getting out there and being a people person. And I think that's what I loved about it, was every day was kind of a party. And now at the school, I feel very honored, and I get to watch people come in very intimidated, as you said, and they come in almost in tears, almost throwing up when they have to take a test. But when they get through it, and then you watch them succeed in life, and we've been doing this for so long that I've got to see people really make careers and do very well, and that's very exciting.
That is very exciting. I mean, it's obviously, if you succeed out there, it's very lucrative to get into real estate. Obviously, investment on the front end, that's quite a bit of leverage right there. I mean, a very little bit compared to what you'd have to become a doctor or whatnot. That is crazy. Let me ask you, you now have a location south of Denver. You've got one here up in north of Denver. Does that make it more accessible for people as far as classes go?
What I found was we were having students coming from as far as Wellington, Colorado, and we were having students come as far as Castle Rock. And so we had so many South students that I decided to open up a South office. And very excited about that, because we've always been up north, but with the students driving all the distance that they were, we felt we needed a South office. So we've just opened it up, and we're very excited to get it up and going, and very proud.
Very proud. I would imagine Tony would be very proud knowing that you have taken this on, and real estate's always been your passion. But now I think you've gotten to see the inside of training other people and leaving that legacy that basically both of you have really provided. Viewers, let's take a look at the bottom of the screen one last time. You're going to see their contact information right there. You can see the locations, basically both locations here in Denver. Check out the testimonials. Basically, very important for you to do your due diligence when you're out there deciding where you're going to learn from a school. Basically, this is a school that will take you beyond just passing that exam. We're talking about professionals that have been there and done that. They've been out in the trenches. They know what it's like to basically need those advanced skills to make sure that you succeed in this lucrative real estate market. Once again, that is the A+ Real Estate School located here in Westminster, Colorado. This is Gary Atencio with CNTV. And if you don't know, now you know.